One more point on this. When do you expect local transmission in the United States? Because we're entering mosquito season. You must have projections out. Are we a week away from seeing the first front page headline, local transmission of Zika, or do you think you're going to get through this season without local transmission?
I think we think that we will have local transmission during this season. While we think we will have limited local transmission, we have prepared deeply for that. Right now, we have put together a very long plan together with the states, and the states have input so that we are clear about the roles. What role will the state have? What role will the local community have? What role will be the federal government? In other words, we will send a team from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, as soon as we're notified. We will offer to send the team in immediately to support the local team in everything they'll do, because they will activate very quickly. And it's not just the public health side. Remember, the people that do mosquito control have to track the mosquitoes and see if they have Zika. And so it's both a part of health and a part of the other piece. So we do not know the exact timetable, and because we don't know that, we have put the plans in place. Right now, as I mentioned, we are tracking in some states already. The states have made the decision to test the blood. And the reason is that the blood, obviously you don't want people getting Zika from blood that they're getting. And in Puerto Rico, until we could test the blood, we actually paid for blood to be sent from the continent.
You're airlifting blood to Puerto Rico right now.
We sent it, not right now, because we now have a test in place and we're testing in Puerto Rico. But what the testing in Puerto Rico shows us is we have higher penetration of cases of Zika, most likely, than what you're seeing. And that's because 75% of the people aren't symptomatic, so they're not being tested. So already in the continental US, there are states that are starting to test. We don't know when, but trying to put everything in place so we can be as prepared as we can.
Do you support the idea of the eradication of the Aedes aegypti mosquito through genetic modification, sterilization, that sort of plan that people have talked about?
Right now, there is a process that is in front of the FDA as to whether they can do the test to see. So this would be basically like a trial, if you're thinking about health, and it's in Florida. And there have literally been thousands of comments. So what happens when we do this type of thing, the Food and Drug Administration asks for comments. We have received those comments and are in the middle of processing those comments to understand whether it is safe for the company. It is a corporate company that wants to do the testing to see if it would be an effective approach. What I think is important is vector control, controlling of the mosquitoes, is something that we have very limited numbers of tools, and we need to advance those tools. And whether those tools are things like spraying, which is done all over the US and done in a safe way through EPA, or tools like those kinds of tools, we need to understand whether they can be effective and what the cost benefit, as well as things like traps, mosquito traps. We need to advance, because this is a mosquito that has not been successfully controlled in almost anywhere.
Right.